All right. Well, first off, I just can't. I just can't. That was complete garbage all around for UW to lose to Montana at home. I just can't. Not only is Montana an FCS team, but to lose to them at home is ridiculous. I mean, let's be honest here. I remember when UW lost to, who was it, Nevada at home? Yeah, Nevada at home. And UW fans were saying that was one of the worst losses ever. And then this happened. UW loses to Montana at home 13-7. 13-7. 13-7. How? 13-7? Give me a break. Uh, 13-7. I mean, I just can't. It's yeah, I just can't. I'm sitting here and UW loses 13-7. Looking at the stats here. So UW had 21 first downs, 21-10 first downs. On rushing yards, UW had 65 rushing yards, 65 on 27 attempts. That's 2.4 per carry. UW had 226 receiving yards compared to 105 for Montana. So UW got picked off 3 times in this game. And that was honestly the difference right there. 3 times they got destroyed. I mean, this is embarrassing. 3 times. I'm seeing here, I see a few of my friends, a few of the people I'm following here saying that Jimmy Lake needs to go. And right now, I don't disagree, because why they didn't just keep pounding the ball, I don't know. I mean, we lose to a Montana team. I'm looking at this, and if this is right, based on what I'm seeing, which I have a hard time believing, and I'm going to see if I can get a second sight, because this is a bit difficult here. But it's looking as if we lost to a quarterback that was 2 of 12, I believe. 2 of 12. 2 of 12. Okay, so ESPN was wrong on that. It's not 2 of 12. It was actually 12 of 23 for only 105 yards passing. So Montana had 105 yards passing and 128 yards rushing, but yet UW still lost. In total yardage, Montana only had 232 total yards. Yeah. This was one for the ages for UW. Here at some of the other scores tonight from around the country. UCLA is up 24-17 on LSU. Good for them. Clemson loses to Georgia 10-3. Now here's the point I want to make about this. Number 3 Clemson loses to number 5 Georgia 10-3. But this loss, UW 13-7 against Montana, seems worse than that. And I'm getting this comment here saying that might be as bad as the Indiana-Iowa game today. Yeah. You know, I didn't watch much on that, but I did see that Indiana couldn't spell their own name right on one of the players' jerseys. But yeah, this is bad. I honestly thought that UW's offensive line was going to be much better than this. Apparently, I was wrong. Apparently, I thought Dylan Morris was going to do more than this. And again, apparently, I was wrong. I really thought UW would have easily been 1-0 going into the Big House next week. But after seeing what what Michigan did against Western Michigan today, I'm a bit concerned that UW is going to travel to Michigan and just get it handed to them like nothing else. What do you think? I'll be here for a few minutes, and you know, I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts are. What your thoughts are on this game. This, honestly, again, this embarrassing loss by UW. Does Jimmy Lake need to go? Did Chris Peterson just not leave enough in the cupboard? So I'm just curious what your thoughts are on this. Because I'm just at a loss for words. And I'm just going to keep looking at the scoreboard here. And it looks as if UCLA is still leading against LSU, but LSU is driving. It's 4th and 2, according to what I'm seeing here. 4th and 2, all the way down to the UCLA 16. That might be a decent game. And I think BYU is about to kick off here shortly. As I'm looking. And I want to dive deeper into these stats on the UW game. So according to, and these ESPN stats are garbage. I don't know why ESPN stats are this bad, but they are bad. They're not showing up right. And let's see here. Let me get over to my stats. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna look at these stats here. And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Share this tab here. So time of possession, UW, it was about even on that right there. It was about even. Half and half, not a big deal. Total drives for each team, 13 each. So again, even there. Again, UW ranked number 20 in the nation. Montana being Montana. And yeah. And there are reports out of a couple sites that, Lake may not get fired. But he's definitely lost the fan base, which, yeah. I absolutely agree. So again, in the passing game, UW was 226 to 105, but those 3 interceptions by Dylan Morris were a big thing. Rushing yards, UW only had 65 yards rushing. 65. How is what I'd like to know. How would 65 yards rushing, how would that get you the win? 65. Against Montana, nonetheless, 65 yards rushing. That to me screams more than anything else. And that was on 27 attempts. 27 attempts. I don't get that. How that happens. 65 yards on 27 attempts. Turnovers, obviously, UW had 3, which I do think is the difference of that game, losing 13 to 7, as I'm just looking through different stats here. But yeah, 65 yards rushing. And I'm going to go ahead here and look at the final stats of this game. And this is shared out by Chris Fetters. And it's hard to see. So let me go ahead and open this up in a different tab. And I'm going to try to zoom in here. Let me reshare my screen. There we go. UW dominated in every single facet of this game, except the score and obviously the turnovers. Montana had 7 penalties for 81 yards. UW only had 3 for 30. Not bad. Third down conversions, though, this right here is pretty killer. This right here. UW was 4 of 14 for a third down. 4 of 14. That's just, it's bad. It is bad. But, one thing I do want to say, one thing that, despite the gloom, the doom, the gloom, all that, which it is right now. I mean, let's get real. It is. This is by far the worst loss that I've seen UW have in I don't know how many years. Next week, they go to the Big House. Do they have a chance to win? Yes. Will they? Don't know. Will I be surprised if they win? Actually, absolutely yes. I will be surprised. Will I be surprised if they lose? Nope. Not in the slightest. Not at all. It's something that's kind of humbling, obviously, as I'm seeing more tweets come through asking if this is the worst loss in program history. And a lot of people are saying yes, or at least easily in the top 3. As I'm seeing here, a lot of people are saying yes, one of the worst losses. And I agree. Wholeheartedly, I agree. And it looks like, as I see a tweet showing a husky puppy going down the stairs and then literally exploding into a fireball, saying, have a feeling this is going to get a lot of views after Washington games this season, which I do agree. And apparently, as I'm looking here, WSU is going to have some trouble here. As I'm trying to get the scores up, I'm just too honestly distraught right now after that game to get these up very easily. Okay, here we go. Pac-12, and they're playing Utah State right now. There we go. And according to Twitter, they are, Utah State is down to the 1 yard line of WSU. But hey, it's only right at the beginning. But this is an interesting stat. Is FCS over FBS this week. UC Davis over Tulsa, Eastern Washington over UNLV, South Dakota over Colorado State, Holy Cross over UConn, ETSU over Vanderbilt, and then Montana over Washington. And according to Mike Vorel, who is covering the UW press conference right now, is saying that Jimmy Lake says he didn't consider changing quarterbacks. And my question to that is why? Why wouldn't he consider changing quarterbacks after what we just saw? I cannot imagine him not considering quarterbacks there. That's ridiculous. I just can't with that. Like how? Dylan Morris looked like a hot piece of garbage who had never played before, like a true freshman, even though last year he had a decent year. Not great, but decent. And he puts that together. So how could he not consider changing quarterbacks? I mean, we got Heward in there waiting to get in. One of the top recruits for UW, and he's waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're not going to even consider it? Come on now. Come on now. Should Lake have thought about switching QBs? I think that's almost a no-brainer, right? Should he have thought about it? Yes, he absolutely should have thought about it. Why he didn't, I don't know. Or is he just saying that to try to save face? I mean, I could see that. I could absolutely see that. Oh, here is a great stat. So I'm going to go ahead and go off that screen here. I'm going to read this. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, the Montana Grizzlies football team is the first non-FBS team to hold a Pac-12 opponent below 10 points since Grambling State beat Oregon State 23-6 in 1985. Now let me say that again, just to make sure we're clear. Montana is the first non-FBS team to hold a Pac-12 opponent below 10 points since Grambling State beat Oregon State 23-6 in 1985. I was 1 year old. I was one when that happened. That is something else to think about. Again, what say you? Should Lake have thought about switching quarterbacks? Do you have any thoughts on this loss to Montana? Love to hear it. If you're watching right now, thanks. Appreciate it. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around the hot mess of dumpster fire that I was watching. If we had Jeff or Mark on here, we know that what they'd be saying. And I'm going to go ahead and text Jeff. But I'm going to go ahead and look through these stats. I'm going to go ahead and share this screen again. Still can't believe that he wasn't considering changing quarterbacks. Give me a break. Give me a break. All right, so team stats. Here we go again. For those that weren't with us at the beginning. UW had 21 first downs to 10. 21 to 10. But UW only had 65 yards rushing. UW had 226 yards passing to 105. But again, the turnovers killed us. The lack of running the ball killed us. The lack of all of the above killed us. Just hot garbage. Hot garbage. How? I mean, just can't. Just can't. Asking what the completion rate for our quarterback was. Well, let's see here. I can find that individual. Let's go to Washington. Dylan Morris was 58.7%. 226 yards, 3 sacks. But again, those 3 interceptions right here was killer. Those 3 interceptions was killer. Not good. Not good at all. trying to see here really quick on some other scores from the Pac-12. Right now, UCLA is still up on LSU 31-20, according to this recent update from ESPN. And let's see here. Texas A&M is killing Kent State 41-10. And all the rest of the games seem to be going final. But in the Pac-12, as I am looking at it, let's get back there. There we go. California is up on Nevada 14-3. BYU and Arizona are still scoreless. Utah State over WSU 3-0 with they are late in the first quarter. Again, Oregon defeated Fresno State 31-24. USC over San Jose State. Kansas State over Stanford. Purdue over Oregon State. And then earlier this week, we had Utah over Weber State, Arizona State over Southern Utah, and Colorado over Northern Colorado. And I would definitely agree here, giving LSU a bit of a pass with the issues in Louisiana. You know, that is a great point there that you make. And it's tough, you know, because they were traveling out here anyway, but, you know, with what's going on with the families and stuff. So, yeah, you know, I definitely agree with that for sure, because LSU and dealing with everything, the after effects of the hurricane and stuff, it's tough to play with there and play against those odds. But with that, I am going to go ahead and sign off. I am planning to do this the rest of the season, hopefully for the BSU, again, that's Boise State games, as well as the UW games, and then definitely on Sundays, probably before the Seahawks play, and then maybe at halftime and after, just some quick thoughts as we get going. Just to have some fun and just kind of play and, you know, have some fun and see what people are thinking, because, you know, it's football season. We want to get our minds off everything else and just focus on football, and that is all, you know, that matters. Even as embarrassing, shocking, worst loss happens, it's still football. That is what matters right now, is, you know, taking our minds off everything else. But that is it. If you're watching, I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. And for now, we will talk to you later.